So Arsenal 4. Yes, 4. Leeds United 1. Kenny Ken, our first away win in 4. We've scored 4. Gabriel Martinelli looking like a prime Luis Suarez in the cut. Saka chips in with a goal. Smith Rowe off the bench again, gets another goal. Project Youth is banged. What a performance, man.
Well, I think what's happening is that, first and foremost, it's a bit of a selection headache for Mikel, because you can't really leave out Odegaard, because I thought he did well today. You can't leave out Lacazette, because Lacazette was the architect of actually the game, because it was Lacazette who created all that space. Without Lacazette and that Lacazette in that team, that space that Saka was running into, the places that Martinelli ran into, especially the 2 goals he got, and most importantly, the fact that Odegaard was able to sort of pin his passes into empty spaces which our players run into. It just shows what I've been trying to say about Lacazette all the time. I understand sometimes Lacazette doesn't work his nuts off, and I understand that Lacazette is probably not as glamorous as Aubameyang, but you're now seeing that Lacazette is actually the better player. He was better player and much better football brain than Aubameyang. Aubameyang's more instinctive than Lacazette. Lacazette thinks more about his game, and he actually brings more players into the game. Now, that's not criticism of Aubameyang, because Aubameyang benefited a lot from Lacazette over the times they played together. I don't know what they're going to play together again, but I think people need to appreciate Lacazette, and most importantly as well, in terms of the captaincy as well, it's a no-brainer to give it to them at the end of the season and let these kids just play their football. They got no worries. They're just going to go there, play. If they, winning games, so they're going to be guaranteed their places. So forget about trying to give Kieran Tierney the armband. Let him just concentrate on his game. He still, needs to get the full fitness. Let him concentrate on that. Don't bother, trying to disrupt Odegaard, because he's still trying to find his feet in the team. And you know what I mean? And I think that's what we need to do. Most importantly as well, let's face it, we've got 9 goals. And the reason why I'm pleased with the 9 goals is because we saw that Southampton was depleted. We went for the kill, got them. Yeah. West Ham were there for the taking, paid us so much respect, as I said on Wednesday. Went there, killed them. Leeds, ravished by injury. The manager plays the same way as he does with a full strength squad, which means if he's going to kill his kids, then my title on my Instagram was Arsenal went for the prey and ravished Leeds youngsters, and that's exactly what we did. We took advantage of every mistake they made and punished them. Let's face it, we could have had more goals if we up the tempo in the second half.
But was the best first half we've had since probably West Brom, when we beat.
You say that, but talk about the West Brom game last year, and not so much by this time last year, but definitely on New Year's Day. Well, that first half from Leeds was the same West Brom. West Brom were architects of their downfall, and we took advantage. And I think that's what Leeds did today. I mean, some defending was just shocking. Click was bad, in terms of protecting the midfield, and I think Koch was just, was awful as well. But we took advantage, and I think that's where Lacazette came into the fray, because again he always takes defenders into areas they don't want to be. Defenders don't like to come to the midfield.
Reaction for a centre back is when a ball is coming into a striker and they're not off the shoulder, they're going back towards the centre circle. The natural reaction is to follow them. Yeah.
Well, and then you've got
the runners off of them. And if you look at the goals we scored today, right, the Martinelli first goal, that was again Lacazette dragging players out and sucking players in because he was going across goal, he was going sideways. And Martinelli today, for me, mate, that guy is such a super talent, mate. He is so
he's a talent. He's still raw, but I think what's happening,
even in the 85th minute, that guy was pressing.
Yeah, but he's still raw. But one thing is that if he could finish, then we've got a good player in our hands. And I think he's finishing in the last couple of games has been fantastic. Knows where the goal is, hits it in the side net, Can't fault him at all. You know what I mean? I think he's getting fit. You know, he took his opportunity because he was so far away from contention. But since the Newcastle game, when he came on, scored instinctively with a ball over the top, he's cemented his place. And I think that's what tends to happen with Mikel, where a player will come on, like I said, make an impression, definitely score. And I think that gives them, a platform, to make a play to stand aside. Because at the end of the day, it's just showing that, for a lot of players, they don't exactly pick themselves. Aubameyang, as far as I'm concerned, is basically like giving his spot away for free. Not because of what happened in terms of him and Arteta. That's something me and you could discuss tomorrow. But in terms of his form, I think and that's what people need to realise. People talk about disciplinary issue or whatever happened after the disciplinary issue because you don't really banish players to train their own just because they're late. It has to be something else where there has to be maybe a reaction to the decision and then, if certain things were said, but we'll discuss that tomorrow on the show. But what has happened is that's opened the door for players like Martinelli. It's opened the door for Lacazette to be more of an influence and be, come out of Aubameyang's shadow. And he's done that fantastically in the last few games, and more it continue. Look, he's not going to be here next season. We are going to buy a striker. Yeah. It's a fact that, that has been substantiated. I've always knew we were going to buy a striker. Other journalists, obviously our friend from Milan, has said that as well, that Arsenal have been trying to buy a striker for months. Months, because they obviously, the way Mikel, I suppose, wants to play in terms of this like safety first and hit teams in the break. You probably want someone who could, play like, Lacazette, but score goals as well. And maybe a Oba, wasn't adaptable. But that's just another story. The most important thing is, for me, is that we saw our prey last Saturday. We ravished them. We saw our prey last few days ago against West Ham. We ravished them. And that's what you've got to do. There's not going to be many opportunities where you're going to play an injury-ravished Southampton, an injury-ravished West Ham, and an injury-ravished Leeds, all in succession, 3 games in a row. It doesn't normally happen. But, after our travails, or against Man United and Everton, games where we should never have lost, probably, maybe got a point, definitely at Old Trafford, maybe should have won Everton. Those are 3 nice fixtures to have. And I think what's happened is that when you get give-me's like that, it helps the confidence, especially with the young players, because when teams are winning, young players love it. They play with such free and abandon. And I think that's, Southampton, West Ham, and now Leeds has been very good for players like Martinelli and Saka.
100%. And listen, Granit Xhaka, we're not his biggest fans.
He's a pork chop. He nearly got himself sent off. He's a pork chop.
Mate, he got away with that, yeah. But I thought he played very well tonight. And I think that...
Again, as you said before, common denominator in terms of Granit Xhaka is the give-me's. Southampton pressed us, then they dropped after we scored, and then he had space. Granit Xhaka always thrives when he has space.
Yeah,
he got a bit. Obviously West Ham, he had to battle alongside Thomas because because of Rice was making those kind of runs. But the fact that Souček played within himself and wasn't making those runs, I thought he would, that enabled Jack to play today. Well, Leeds didn't really have a midfield, did they? And that's what Granit said. His pass for the second goal was brilliant, but that was because he reacted to some, foolhardy defending by, Drama, where he's ball watching rather than a man, and so Granit Xhaka was able to pick that pass for the second goal. But you know what? Long may it continue. Granit Xhaka is not what we want. He's not going to give us the athleticism, but when we get give-me's like we had in the first, like last 3 games, Granit's brilliant like that. Partey had a good 100%. Game as well. Again. Space, and that's what
he had a shot on target as well. But listen, Kenny, we're going to do player ratings later. Yeah, because I know you're going to watch the boxing. I've got about 1 million fan cams to do.
Well, like I said, that is a million, hopefully 1 million people who are getting a chance to speak on a channel because I don't think some of these poor guys get a chance in them other channels.
It's a close shop on most, mate. So
yeah, it's a close shot with most channels, and you know, some channels, you know, used to be, you know, like spontaneous, but unfortunately, you know, they. The more a channel grows, the more they're more choosy about who they want in that channel. But you're not like that, and I respect
100%. And listen,
you for that 100%. And I'm wrong about it, Ken. You don't change because at the end of the day, there's a market of fans who have been neglected and ignored, and me, you, and Jez are giving a platform. Obviously, it's your channel, but me and Jez.
Yeah, come on,
you know,
you're as part of the channel as
yeah,
me. Same
me,
as Oliver
yeah,
and everyone who comes on it,
you,
mate.
and Jez are basically saying, and this is a message for all the fans out there. You know, there is a place for you to be yourselves. There is a place for you to, you know, express yourself in any way you want. If you want to back the manager, fine. We've got room for that. We can debate that. If you want the standards to be reached, well, this is a place for you as well. You know, you won't be ignored
100%.
or shouted down or called all names by people if you come to our channel.
Absolute facts. Listen, Kenny, go and enjoy the boxing. I know the undercard started. We'll do player ratings later. Appreciate you coming on, mate. Yeah,
enjoyed it. Love it.
Yeah, we're out of here. I'll take
Well, very rare, wasn't it?